in the hills where the wildflowers grow. A little girl's laughter still echoes low. Two-tail is coming for you. 3, 4, better lock that door. 5, 6, grab a crucifix. 7, 8, it's already too late. She's a shadow on the run, dancing dark beneath.
Hey, Miss Lisa, how are you? I'm here. I know that's not what people want to hear, but I'm here. At least you remembered us tonight, Lisa. And I started early. So Ed's going to be thrown into a show that he isn't ready for. Just a heads up, guys. Like now.
Oh, there I am.
Yeah, there you go.
Whoop, not over here. Whoop, not over here.
Ed, I'll remove myself.
There I am. There I am. Boing, ba-doing, doing, 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 boing, doing, boing, ba-doing, doing, doing, doing. What's going on, D?
Just laughing at you.
Ha! I don't hear any laughing.
Oh, well. And
What's
you got
going on?
Lisa calling you Fast Eddie in the chat, so.
Who is?
Lisa. Your friend Lisa.
Well, you know, that's what I used to be called when I was drag racing back in the 1990s. And now that I have another car, I guess I could be called that again, but I really drive very slow these days. It's disgusting. It really is disgusting how slow I drive. Ooh. Embarrassing. Hello, Lisa, by the way. Good to see you.
Hey, Connie.
And Connie. So what's up, D?
Oh, not a lot.
You sound very chill this evening. You sound very, very chill.
Sorry, am I supposed to be excited?
No, you sound very laid back this evening.
I scared myself. I told someone I would teach them how to use StreamYard and Restream, and I have a hard time with Restream as is.
Restream is what when you do these live things, what is Restream?
So like I use StreamYard with me.
I do too. I do too. When I did live show, I use StreamYard. Yeah.
When I do a live stream without having someone up, I do it through Restream. It's the same setup as StreamYard, except for Restream is done on an IO, where I think StreamYard is done already programmed to work on like YouTube and Facebook and all that.
Huh. All right.
I hope I explained that correctly.
Okay. If you say so, D.
Has anyone ever told you look like Ozzy?
Yes, many times. Yeah. And as I like to make sure just to say young Ozzy, not old Ozzy, right? Young Ozzy. Young Ozzy.
Yeah, obviously.
Young Ozzy. Yes, in fact, the most prominent time that happened, I went to the Golden Corral in Sharon, Pennsylvania. Must have been 2 years ago with my dad. And somebody stopped me. A couple stopped me there to say that exact thing. And then we ended up talking about Ozzy's music and Black Sabbath and everything. But yeah. That and Jason Bateman. Now, to me, Jason Bateman and Ozzy Osbourne don't look anything alike, but somehow I look like both those guys. So I don't know. I don't know how that works.
I love Ozzy my whole life, young and old Ozzy.
Okay. Yep, Ozzy was a good guy to like. His wife, though, Sharon, Bitch, for sure.
And Connie is telling us her age is 56. Connie, you aren't much older than Mr. Ed.
I'm going to be 56 August 1st, month and a half. 56 years old.
Yep.
Going back to the even numbers after being odd for a year. Of course, I'm odd all the time, but going back to the even numbers, 56. Divisible by many different numbers. Yep.
Oh.
Well.
So.
But yes, I've been told that.
And we have Lisa with young Ozzy was really cute. Old Ozzy, a little scary.
Yeah. Well, you lived a tough life. Doing all those drugs and everything that's going to age you. You figure what? He was born in what? About 1948, 49, 50, somewhere in there. Black Sabbath came out in 1970. And so he would have been mid-70s when he died last year. Probably somewhere in there. But yeah. Yep. I'm the age that he was when he was doing the reality show with the rest of his family. He was in his mid-50s when he was doing that 20 years ago.
We got clouds. I don't know when they decided to move over the top of us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well. But
what's going on in Oklahoma, Dee?
We've got clouds. It was really exciting last night. I guess there was a fire 2 blocks over by the train tracks. It's like everyone left the house except for me, and then they come back. Oh, we forgot all about you.
We're in the fire department. What's the deal, Dee? Aren't you supposed to be? Wait a minute.
I'm not in the
fire. There's a fire. Everybody leaves but you.
Yeah, well.
You're gonna have to
I'm the one as a
explain this to me, Dee. You're gonna have to explain it.
As a 13-year-old ran back into my house that was on fire while my dad's grabbing the china cabinet and the buffet, and my mother was stuck behind his table with all of it. Okay, I'm one that's running back inside, grabbing my dress that I have set up for the native stuff. Yeah. So I've always been the rebel.
But I thought you were part of the fire department now.
Only on days that ended with Y.
So what day did this fire happen on?
Well,
what day of the week did it happen on? Huh?
It was yesterday. But see, we don't live in Gene Autry Fire Department. We live in Carter County, though. So I'm just a hair outside their line.
So you have a fire a block away, and that's not your responsibility?
Nope, not my responsibility.
Wow, that is weird. Walk away, and Dee's like, psh, psh. All right. So what if it would have been a block the other direction? Would that have been your? So you don't live in the jurisdiction where your fire department is?
No.
Okay. How does that work? But it's a volunteer fire department.
Exactly.
So why didn't you volunteer for the fire department that's local?
We don't have a volunteer fire department for Ardmore.
Oh, you don't? What do you? Those fire department people actually get paid.
Yep.
Well, you got to get in with them then.
Yeah, I'm a little too old and a little too out of shape.
Oh, come on now. They surely need facilitators and stuff too, D. Right?
You would think. What? You don't even get curious to look at the fire. LOL. Yeah, I get so excited. Connie, you hear me? Oh, there's a fire. Okay, cool. I'm cooking steak and jalapeno poppers on the pit boss, and y'all are out looking at fires. Cool.
Well, at least we know you're not an arsonist, D.
No,
the funny thing is, a lot of firefighters are arsonists. When those arsonists get caught, so many of them are firefighters.
Yep. I know.
That's good to know. You don't get excited about fire, so you do not suffer from pyromania.
No.
Okay. All right. So you are a volunteer in the Gene Autry Fire Department.
Yep.
And Ardmore is local to you.
Yes.
And you're not part of that.
No.
All right. I am so confused. Okay.
Yeah, Connie, we had steak, jalapeno poppers, corn.
Fantastic. What kind of steaks?
I got a hold of, they were called top sirloin steak is what they were called, and they had like the bones still in them. Yeah. I figured they were going to be tough. These things were tender. These were like really, really cheap T-bones, and I was surprised.
How'd you cook them?
On the smoker.
You smoked them, huh?
Mm-hmm.
How long does that take? Do you put any spices on them? What do you do?
Well, I always spice it up, Mm-hmm. I have to have my Slap Your Mama and my Old Bay and all that stuff.
Slap Your Mama?
Yep.
What's that?
It is a seasoning that is originally out of Louisiana.
It's called Slap Your Mama, huh?
Slap Your Mama.
Okay. I've used Old Bay. In fact, I have Old Bay over in my kitchen right now. I like Old Bay, but I've never heard Slap Your Mama.
Yep.
Is it a little spicier then? Spicier.
And they have different levels of spice. They have, normal level, then they have medium, and then they have mild, and then they even have a hot.
Okay. Wow. All right. So you put them in the smoker. Does that take longer than grilling or what? I've grilled steaks. I've never smoked them.
It depends on what you set your temp at. Like ours is a plug-in electric smoker. Okay. You set your temp, you put your meat in, and it's normal temp, kind of like sticking it in the oven or something like that.
Okay. But it's a smoker, but do you actually use wood in it?
Yes.
All right. Okay. You got me confused there for a second. Electric smoker. Okay. What kind of wood do you usually get for it?
These come with pellets, the electric ones. They have pellets that you put in, and they're a pellet wood type thing.
Okay. All right. I don't know hardly anything about. I've eaten smoked, food before. I had smoked turkey for Thanksgiving over 10 years ago.
My favorite smoked turkey.
And but I don't think it was electric. I think this was
probably.
I think it was this guy. It was a fellow disc golfer at his house. Pretty sure that it was just the good old fashioned light the wood up and do it that way. I think
more than likely, because that's what my dad had my whole entire life. That's what I've grew up using. It has taken me a little bit to get used to this electric thing.
Okay.
Like last night, it threw a code at me, and I was like, I didn't do nothing wrong.
It threw a code at you?
Yeah.
Like a car? Like the check engine light came on?
Yeah. Then check me light came on. I checked. It was getting empty on one side of the box that you put the pellets in.
Okay.
and not the other, so it was sending up smoke through the. It was just, so.
Okay.
It was an unplugged, plugged back in, and it was working just fine.
Okay. Yeah. Yep, I haven't had anything smoked in a while though. But I've had smoked salmon, smoked turkey, other things. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, Connie, I used for my steak, I rubbed it down with Dijon mustard, and for Nicholas and Michael, I used just regular mustard. And like I said, they were so tender it wasn't even funny. I was surprised. I figured they'd be tough.
So before you put them in there, you bathe them in mustard?
Yes, it is a way to tenderize.
Never done that.
They also do it big time for like smoked briskets.
Okay.
So that way they get the bark on them.
Never heard of that. Man, I just do think so. I haven't had steaks in a while because they can be expensive. But I just put salt. I put Old Bay, salt and pepper, and leave them sit out till it, for just a little bit, and then I just put them in the George Foreman. That's how I cook my steaks.
Well, I normally would, for the longest time, I would get my steaks and I would put them in a bag, in a Ziploc baggie, and I would throw in Italian dressing. My older sister used Italian dressing to get hers marinated and stuff.
Wow.
So I figured
like both those choices. I like mustard. I like both of your choices there. I love mustard, and I love Italian dressing too. So those are interesting.
I mean, and they both turn out pretty good. I mean, and they're both, good also for tenderizers. So like if you have a tough piece of meat, you can tenderize it that way.
Instead of beating it into submission.
Yes, instead of beating it into submission.
The hammer, just boom, boom, boom.
You can soak it into submission and break down those fibers just as easy.
Okay. So did they taste good? The thing is, my attitude with steak is I don't want to put too much stuff on it. Then it's just like you're just eating the mustard, or you know what I mean? I actually want to taste the meat. The meat does have a good taste to it, especially if it's properly marbled with fat.
Yeah.
It's too easy to get caught up in, putting all this stuff on it before you even cook it. I guess that's why maybe I've just traditionally taken a more simplistic, maybe quicker way to it. Some Old Bay, some salt, pepper, boom, it's ready to get cooked. Okay.
If you take it, see though, I was the one that ran the restaurant and stuff, and I worked in restaurants. That's what I've done most of my life. And then I went into truck driving.
Right.
And then I went into home health.
That's still spectacular.
And then I went and got my CNA.
You're like my work history. I've been all over the place too.
Yeah. And still haven't found my, where I should be. Obviously, it's YouTube.
Obviously. Well, obviously, Dave. Obviously. What kind of the trucking? What kind of truck did you drive again? 18-wheeler.
Yeah, we were both me and my ex-husband both were 18-wheelers.
What kind of truck was it? Peterbilt or Kenworth or what?
Whenever I left him, we had just gotten into a new Peterbilt.
Wow. Was it like the old school ones, or was it one of the aerodynamic ones?
It was one of the newer ones. I wasn't happy about it. Like I told him, if we were going to be buying one, I would much rather buy an older one that had everything set up on it versus what we were doing with JCT, which was what caused the fight.
That eventually led to your divorce?
Yes. Well, me disappearing and then
divorced over a truck? You divorced over your 18-wheeler truck?
Well, that was the one that hit me and stabbed me and left me for dead in California. Yeah. Ed,
Okay.
I've been through hell. You didn't realize all this.
No, I know you told me that before. I didn't know it was started with the truck thing.
Yes, the whole truck. I tell everyone, if you want to know if you can make a relationship work, stick yourself inside a bathroom for a week with your significant other. If you can make it through that, you can make it through anything.
Wow. All right, you heard it first from D.
I mean, give Lau some great relationship advice tonight, too, guys.
And it's all for free. I ask you about the trucks because, my brother, both of my brothers, but mostly my brother Brian was a truck driver. And, I was, he was in an international. He drove for a while. Of course, they weren't. He was working for a company. International. He had Volvo, but I remember the Peterbilt that he had. It was the old school. It was the non-aerodynamic ones, with the long hood and everything. Of course, that was his favorite. That was it was white. It was pretty nice. The other ones had bigger sleepers on them, but this one, I mean, from a looks point of view, was the best.
Well, I was looking at doing show trucks. That's the whole reason why me and him even got I went ahead and got my CDLs so I could help buy the show trucks. And you have to have someone with a CDL that can drive the show truck to wherever. Like, you had the Mid-America Truck Show, which is up in Kentucky.
Okay.
Pop John's.
Okay.
Pop John's a great parking lot. Let me just say that they're, but they, would bring in show trucks and stuff like that. And I really got into the show truck area of it.
Okay.
Versus my whole life, I wanted to spend behind an 18-wheeler. It was a dynamic of, okay, how can we get these trucks and how can we get them paid off the quickest?
So you were going to show trucks in shows where they get judged and everything.
Yep.
Wow. You can get into big bucks with that, right, D? I mean, those trucks can get expensive.
Yes. Matter of fact, I had a design that if I would have ever made it onto the showroom floor with it, I probably would have made lots of money. But
so you had a sketch of something?
Yes.
You did.
Yes.
What was it?
Oh, well, you kind of take some of the what's his name? He's a horror writer.
Stephen King?
Yeah, a little bit of Stephen King, and you paint the truck about that color, and it kind of looks like it could have eyes already. You just put a little bit of eyes on them, and it was ready to go. So,
okay.
Wow.
I didn't know that. See, I think trucks with eyes on it, I think of the movie Maximum Overdrive.
Yes.
Which actually was directed by Stephen King as well.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. With the Green Goblin truck.
Yep. I grew up.
Yeah.
That was the first real scary movie that my older sister let me watch with her. And I was just so bored. I was like, oh my God. Well,
yeah, you had only been 5 years old when that came out.
Yes,
that was 85, about 1985. Yeah.
I'd have been 5.
Yes.
And I was probably 12, and I was watching it with my older sister. It was one of the ones that she approved for the younger children as well. And I kept going, well, they hurry up and go to sleep so I can watch something I want to watch. That was my only thought. And then we had to break it to JT that, my dad, that his papa shot Bambi. My nephew. He was probably 3 at the time because my sister took the tape to my dad and had him shoot it. She's like, I don't care, fill it full of holes. I just don't want it to work ever again. And so we had to tell JT that Papa shot Bambi.
I don't know what that has to do with truck driving and Maximum Overdrive, but okay, D.
The movies, my older sister was big on movies. Like I said, that was one of the first movies that we watched. You know, I remember watching it as a kid because it was one that was approved for the ones that were younger.
Yeah.
But yes, we did. We had some really fun times as kids.
How long did you drive a truck for?
I drove for 2.5 years.
Okay. So you spent some time in truck stops and all those things, and Loves and Flying J's and all that?
Oh, yes. The bathroom or the shower rooms and all the personal things that they offer for truck drivers. They even have there's certain places that have even actual movie screening rooms.
I know. Seen them. Seen it. Yeah. Yeah, they make things really nice for them, for you, for all the truck drivers. Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Think about how long my brother Michael drove. But my brother Brian, he drove late 80s until about 2003, somewhere in there. So maybe 15 years, 12, 13, 14 years, something like that. Mainly between Salt Lake City and LA. He would drive down to go to the docks. He would get bananas, containers, and drive them back to Salt Lake. That was mostly what he did, but he did other things too. But most of the times I was with him, that's what he was doing.
We had one. I'm trying to think. We had a couple of New York runs, but we had one inside of city limits, and then we had inside of like actual New York area, New York. But mostly we did Florida out, the southern regions. But I never got close enough to the ocean. And people are like, you went to Florida, but you never got close enough to the ocean? Yeah.
Yes, it's
or when we were going past the ocean, I was asleep. Which probably was the case.
Okay. Truck driving D.
Yes.
You must have had that seat like pumped up the whole way. Maybe extension on the pedals or something, right?
On that truck, we had it set up where we could actually raise the pedals up as well as me be able to raise the seat where it needed to be.
Okay.
That's part of why he went with that truck immediately, was because it was something that I could drive as well, without having to do a lot of modifications on it and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, but I was the 4'11", 120 pounds driving a semi truck.
I
was the Barbie doll. I mean, they really want to be technical.
How many tickets did you get?
Huh?
How many tickets?
I actually never got a ticket.
Even
whenever I had to wreck.
You're letting me down. No tickets. Wow, not even one speeding ticket.
I was trying to think. No, even when we had the wreck, I didn't have a ticket. Now, I did have to come back for the company itself and do a drug test, but no speeding tickets. My truck was too governed. They were too smart.
My brother Brian got tons of speeding tickets. Were you ever overloaded? Did you ever go across the scale and you were overloaded?
Most of the times, if something like that was supposed to hit, more than likely it hit on his shift, because even when they were sending us to Florida, I didn't drive through LA. I refused to drive through LA traffic. And I refused to sit in the truck seat too, because at some point I was throwing up. if I was in the front.
Oh, motion sickness.
So, yeah. Well, it wasn't really the motion sickness. It was the stopping and going and realizing we were 10 times bigger than these cars that were just slamming on their brakes in front of us. That it got scary for me. And it was like, nope. I really go down the hill. I really go down Donner than to do that again. Honestly.
All right.
If I had to pick. Donner's Pass was easier for me.
Yeah. My brother Brian had a story from driving. Yeah, I think this actually happened in Oklahoma, coincidentally, D. He was driving. He was way overweight. The truck was way over. I think the legal limit is 80,000 pounds or something. He was way over that. And he knew how to take the back roads to get around the scale and all of those things. And here, this one day that when the scale was usually closed, he thought he could get through this area, and here it was open. And he had to go in, and he was way overweight, and he was going to get a huge ticket. And guess what happened?
Didn't get a ticket.
He didn't, but what was the reason? Something that we've talked about on the show before.
Oh, jeez. Because he was nice? I don't know.
No. There was a tornado warning.
Oh.
They let everybody go. They let all the trucks get out of there. There's tornadoes coming. They had to close up the office and everything. That's how he got out of that ticket, because of tornado.
Wow.
Tornado warning, yeah.
That's interesting.
That's funny.
Yes.
Yep. In Oklahoma, your state. Yeah, it's a good way to see the country, I guess, kinda.
Well, yeah. I mean, I just wish I had more time to stop and see versus trying to meet deadlines, and time deadlines and stuff. Yeah. I used to joke and say I didn't want to do the corporate America thing, but that's exactly what it was. It was still trying to meet deadlines and rushing and, overwhelming sometimes.
Did you keep an accurate logbook, or did you fudge the numbers?
Well,
see, I know about truck driving. Even though I've never driven a truck, I know a lot about it because, riding with my brother and all the stories he's told me. So I know a lot about
it. See, we had the electronic log, so there wasn't much you could do.
All right. Yeah.
To mess with it.
Did you have like the tracker on your truck and all that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. See, my brother got out before that became really, really a big thing.
Yeah, see, as I was coming in, that was just coming in, and now they're talking about that. Like a couple of years ago, my ex was telling me, he goes, they now have switched all trucks over to automatic, and I was like, oh no. And then Death was telling me just last week or week before last, now we have cyber, but no driving semis in Oklahoma.
That's scary.
Yeah.
That's scary. Yep. I don't trust any of those automated vehicles. I don't care if they're a little Waymo or 18-wheelers. I think,
Yeah. That's just way too much weight, and I'm just waiting for the day it kills, a bad accident happens because of it.
Who gets sued? Mm-hmm. How do you figure out blame and everything?
You can't even blame the truck driver anymore because guess what? It wasn't his fault.
Did your trucks have like the governors on it so they only allow you to go so fast, like 62 miles an hour or something? Yeah,
that's the reason why I said we weren't able to speed.
Oh, yeah.
Even in Texas.
That sucks. Those suck. Probably you in a car, me in my car, a lot of people, you get behind these trucks, they can't even pass each other. One pulls out to pass the other. One's going 61 miles an hour. The other one's going 62 miles an hour. And it takes like 20 minutes for them to pass each other.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness! See, I'm guessing at least one or two of the trucks my brother drove had that, but for the most part, I think they were just whatever, as fast as you wanted to drive. That's what they could do.
Well, see, and then you had me. If I would have been open, I think the lead foot would have been a lot worse.
Right. So no
You
wonder you
know,
get any speeding tickets. No wonder. No
I
wonder, D.
I spent a lot of times on the phone
Did you?
just to stay awake at night because that was the shift I chose to drove was the night shift because you had less vehicles on the road. It
Mhm.
was a lot more safer.
Not as many vehicles on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you came
Mhm.
upon a wreck, it was something that was already pretty much, cleared. Now, I did come up on one or two. Then at that, I was thankful at that point in time I was not a CNA. I just had the white sheet in my truck.
What was your favorite food to eat while you were trucking on down the road,
Well,
Dave?
we used to stop at the Pilot down in uh, Texas, very, very south Texas, down by Mexico border.
Okay.
And I was like, really, really loved the soup until people told me what was in it. And then I just quit eating it
What
and wouldn't even touch it afterwards.
was in it?
It was intestines.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. After hearing what it was, I was good. Never wanted it again. Never thought about it again. That was my favorite thing. And then my other thing was chicken wings. Like if I was
Okay.
driving, chicken wings was my favorite, and fried corn.
I guess I was asking, like, while you're actually driving, while you're actually sitting in the seat driving, was there something
Um,
that see yeah, because like for my brother, I think like he loves radishes, and he
well,
would get like a bag full of radishes and eat them while he was driving. I can't stand radishes, so I don't
oh
even get
wow,
that. But then also Twizzlers.
yes.
Twizzlers are a great truck driving food. It's not messy. Of course, it's not all the sugar and everything, but something like that. Anything like that for you?
Well, when I was trying to literally stop smoking and was going to the vape and everything, it was sunflower seeds or pumpkin seeds,
Okay,
something
yeah.
like
So my brother did that too. Yes, yes,
that.
yes. That too.
The other thing was the wings. Like a lot of the truck stops carry the same type of, foods.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The wings, fried corn on the cob. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and
That's
that's
hard to
where,
eat while you're driving, though, D.
well, you get very, very messy, but hey, it was still good.
Yeah.
It was still good.
Okay.
And Kyle used to get so irritated. It's like the whole steering wheel's buttery.
Ha!
Do we know why? No, not at all. We have no clue. Not today, sir.
Oh my goodness.
Well, see, I was the prankster too, though, on the truck.
You don't say.
Hell, there were times he was afraid to come out of the sleeper.
Ha! All right.
We got pulled over through a checkpoint coming in from New Mexico to Texas. And the Border Patrol crossing, kept asking, was there any illegal aliens on the truck? No, sir. And then made me wake up my co-driver. So I got Kyle up and he's sitting in the, jump seat and he's like, no, we don't have anything. And finally I was like, fine, I'll confess. I grabbed my Chihuahua dog and I was like, is this who you're looking for?
Oh no.
Is this what you're looking for? Because that's the only other thing on the truck.
Chihuahua.
At least I didn't tell.
The poor Chihuahua.
At least I didn't tell him I had a box full of oh, I'm trying to think, the driver's jokes. most of my dispatchers were pretty good, especially the ones that I dealt with. Now, the ones he had to deal with were not as nice, both because of the shift we worked.
Truck driving stories. Love the truck driving stories.
We talked an whole hour just about truck driving.
Yeah, we got 40 minutes on truck driving. I love talking about truck driving. My brother, I mean, this is so stupid. My brother, I wouldn't say he forced me. I wouldn't say he allowed me, though, either. I actually drove my brother's truck. When I went out, before I moved to Las Vegas, I went out to see him, and I just rode around with him in his truck. I drove his truck from just south of Salt Lake City the whole way down to like Mesquite, Nevada.
Oh, wow.
He went back and fell asleep. He just said, there you go. Boom, there you go. So stupid. So stupid. So stupid.
Well, I mean.
Oh man, that mess that could have been. Oh my goodness. I just can't believe I didn't wreck. I'd never driven an 18-wheeler before, ever. Zero. And he goes, oh yeah, you can do it. If there's nobody's ever met my brother Brian. If you want to know my brother Brian, that's him in a capsule right there. Here, oh yeah, you can do it. Just get this boom, boom, boom. You're no problem.
I'll see
Henry. That's Brian. And he just fell right asleep. He wasn't worried at all. He just went right to sleep in his sleeper. I mean, this 18-wheeler, 80,000 pounds, not an automatic. It had the stick going up and down those mountains, going down from Utah into Nevada through a little piece of Arizona as well. Crazy. Stupid. But there you go.
I mean, Henry, what made me decide to go get my CDL is my dad and, of course, my friend Henry. Both were older enough that they grandfathered him before CDLs were mandatory.
Oh, okay.
So Henry, that's how he taught me. He was like, look, I'm going to go back here and go to sleep. You're good to finish driving. Let me know if you get to the stop. If we get there, I'll park and, we'll deal with it. And then we'll get back in the truck and go back. And I'm like, oh my jeez. I did it. Did it just fine. He was like really, really good friend of mine. I mean, he was there when my dad passed and everything. So the driving comes into blood for me.
Okay.
I joke around as the gypsy in me because the CD, I like to drive. It's one of the most relaxingest things for me to do is to drive.
I do too. Yeah. Me too.
Even with the fibromyalgia and stuff and going, oh my God, this is going to hurt me later, I still enjoy it.
What years? So you did that 2.5 years. What years were those?
That was, he was born in 2014. So, up to him 2012.
Okay.
So, 10 and 11. October 2012 is remember I left him and left the CDL.
Okay. You drove from 2010 to 2012?
Yep.
Wow. Well, that's weird because, I moved from Las Vegas to Florida in 2011. I might have passed you on the highway, D, going through New Mexico, Texas, somewhere in there.
Maybe.
I might have passed you. That'd be crazy, right? If we were to figure that out somehow.
Those were the days that, and then after that, I was trying to think. I moved to Tucson. I moved to Tucson because my dog's growling, another dog walking. Midnight. Behave.
Oh, Pupster.
Behave.
Pupster.
You know better. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so the whole, right after that happened, that's when I disappeared Tucson for until December. And then I came back home and spent until May. And then I went back to Arizona. I preferred Arizona over Oklahoma. But unfortunately, it seems like I'm back here to stay.
In Oklahoma, huh?
Yeah. So did you hear about the YouTubers that were arrested?
No, tell me.
So 3 YouTubers were arrested in Tucson.
Something having to do with Nancy Guthrie?
The fact of disorderly conduct.
Imagine
and I think the other one, well, I know 3 of them, or all 3 got disorderly conducts in public. Disorderly in public. The other one got just the ticket and was told not to come back to that street because from here on out they would be getting arrested. The one guy, they drove to his house and arrested him.
Good.
Oh, well, you got one there in Manatee County throwing a fit.
Manatee County here in Florida, south of me.
Yep.
Throwing a fit about what?
About them being arrested. I just keep telling her to go. Go have fun. You can be the 5th. You know what I mean? Go enjoy.
Right. Right.
Oh.
I'm sure they earned it. Happy for them. That's what they want anyway. They want the attention. That's why they're there. There you go. There's your attention. There you go. You got your name in the news. Aren't you happy?
Man, I do believe that 1-800 Tucson, 857 Tucson has had his heart in the right place. But at this point, it's just nothing because there's nothing to report on. You know, now if we ever get a tip that there's something to report on, then, you know, that's something. But at this point, there's nothing to do with this case. So.
So they got arrested, probably just slaps on the wrist, though.
Well, they did have to bail out of jail. I did see all that. But like I said, they're yelling that their rights were offended. And I'm just like, no. Because guess what? That's what drunk and disorderly gets you you know what I mean? Most states have some type of disorderly and drunk or drunk and disorderly, conduct law anyway. And that's just part of the law, sir. I mean, you aren't at the police station. If you're at the police station, it'd probably be a different story. You aren't sitting across from the news outlet. If that was the case, I could see it as a different story. You're sitting in a neighborhood just hoping. For what? For her to spring up out of the cacti?
Yeah. What's the plan here, people?
Huh?
Yeah, what's the plan? What people just trying to milk this story. They can't get attention doing anything else. So.
It's annoying. It really is. That's the reason why I went with what I was doing, because it kind of, keep maybe flowing. But
certainly is annoying. And it doesn't help people like myself and you and a few others who are trying to do things the right way. It doesn't help.
I mean,
because the general public just throws us all into the same pot, just seeing the whole community as being nothing but opportunists.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. I find it weird. I find it grimy. I mean, it's just like with the Summer Wells case, after the first year, that was enough. After the first 6 months, it was enough. But no, we're now 5 years in, and I've seen between not just the family, but my friend TT get slaughtered by because she's friends with Donna Candace and lives in the area. Type thing. So I've seen several people, with that case. It just gets very irritating. Um, there's a YouTuber out there that's saying they're going to do a 12-hour marathon the 15th.
All right, you get it done. Go ahead, get it done.
Yeah. You have fun with that. It's too dirty for me.
Yeah.
I did tell Candace I would do something, but that's supposed to be all, me, her, Mama Bear, and T together, not just one or the other. So.
Okay. Let's go over, being that we have like 15 minutes left or something, let's go over this last one you sent me.
Oh.
It's one that from Tenino, Washington. Tenino.
Yes.
I'll read it and we'll just, I think overall it just reinforces some of the things that we've already said, but let's take a look at it. A man, this was from last year, I think. A man has been booked for the murder and kidnapping of the 82-year-old woman who was reported missing under suspicious circumstances in Tenino, Washington. Jeffrey Zizz, what a name, Z-I-Z-Z. I didn't even know that was a name. Has been booked for first-degree murder, first-degree kidnapping, and unlawful disposal of human remains charges. Marcia Norman's body was recently found buried underneath a new shed in Olympia, Washington. It was partially encased in concrete. She was reported missing on April 4th of 2025 after her family said they had not heard from her since around 6:30 p.m. on April 1st. Ziz was initially identified as a person of interest after deputies learned he had dinner with Norman on the evening of April 1st. The sheriff's office says Zid fled the state, which violated a previous sentencing condition on an unrelated sex offense. He was taken into custody at a motel in Missoula, Montana. My former roommate in Las Vegas was from Missoula. Or no, she was from Billings. A friend of mine was from Missoula, another friend. During the investigation, detectives discovered Ziz had built a shed and an unrelated property in Olympia on the day Norman was reported missing. Investigators obtained equipment to move the shed on April 9th and found human remains while excavating the ground below where the new shed had been built. So there you go. I know the first thing, of course, jumps out to me. Somehow he did have a connection to Marcia Norman.
He was her handyman.
Yeah. So they had dinner, and then he just kind of decided he killed her. Knowing her.
Yeah. My first thought when I saw that, I was like, that reminds me of so much of Nancy's case, because we know that she had dinner with her family that night.
Yeah.
And then by church, she's gone.
Right. Right. Of course, the problem is that if Nancy Guthrie's disappearance was this straightforward, I think it would be solved by now. As is the case with this murder, it got solved fairly quickly, within days. I mean, this guy was no Bond supervillain.
True.
So, it's one of these things, as we've talked about before, Dean. You've probably heard me, say it on the live show or wherever, that, when you get to these disappearances that are even, how old's her disappearance now? 4 months old or something. People will come out, well, have they checked the handyman? Well, they probably have. That would be a very easy thing to do, because you have people parachuting into these cases and they think that they're saying something interesting while saying, well, did they check the mailman? Did they check the handyman? Did they check the pool guy? And I'm guessing they have. I don't think that at this point those kinds of comments are that insightful.
I don't see them as helpful at this point.
No.
I don't.
No.
You know,
and in fact, it's probably been that way for quite a while. Even if they would think that, somebody who regularly came to her house for whatever reason, for maintenance or whatever, even if they didn't have the body, I think that we would know about that by now. Pretty sure, with all of the attention by reputable news places that have been working on this, that we would know that by now. And it wouldn't have anything to do with her body not being found. If she is deceased, I of course hope she's still alive. But I don't think that Nancy Guthrie's disappearance is as straightforward as the murder of Marsha Norman. What do you think?
No, because they figured it out within days for her. I figured, well, me and you went down the road. Is it someone that lives close by? Which I think it is. I do believe it's someone that lives in that neighborhood, but who? Who could have it out that bad for an 80 to 83-year-old woman? Yeah. This guy, I figure it has to do with money and drugs, which is probably the reason why they figured it out so quickly.
Well, they did figure it helped that he had dinner with her.
Yeah.
That's, of course, you're going to look at that person, whoever, no matter who it is. You're going to go track that person down and try to figure out, what, it very well could be that, with Jeffrey Ziz, that maybe they didn't even suspect him at first, although he did have these charges against him.
Now that one that I sent you that I watched over the neighbor that wound up being the guy.
Yeah. Yes.
That one seemed more focused, but it's like, but Nancy's not married, so therefore, let's not go down that road. But I was like, it sounds more. We know it's in my books. It has to be a neighbor. I don't think it's a handyman because I think by now he'd have been caught. But then look at the Nancy that I showed you from California. We know that handyman got by with it for at least 6 months. Mm-hmm. I don't know how he got by with it, but he got by with it for 6 months.
Right. Right. I'd have to, of course, that's been a while since we talked about that, maybe a couple months. I would have to go back and look, specific facts and everything. But, maybe they did suspect him. Of course, the difference, that disappearance did not get as much attention as Nancy's.
Yes.
Of course. And what I would say is, I don't necessarily think that this is just as straightforward as I've stated many times. I don't think it's just as straightforward. It's a neighbor. If it were a neighbor, if that person in the video were a neighbor, this would all be over by now. I mean, how many neighbors, could be probably, what was that guy? Probably in his 30s and has a beard or wherever, whatever else. How many could that be? And I guess it depends on what you consider a neighbor to be. How far does a person have to live away before they're not a neighbor?
My building, country, 5 miles.
What were you to say, D, please?
In the country, 5 miles,
Yes, I guess. So it all depends on what you mean by a neighbor. However, I could believe that this disappearance is connected to a neighbor. As I've stated, maybe the son of a neighbor, something like that, some dispute or something that went wrong. And of course, when you start getting like a couple degrees away like that, it gets exponentially harder.
That's whenever they went for the last guy they contained there, Nancy Guthrie's case. Whenever they went for him, I automatically went maybe because he lived within 5 miles, mm-hmm. And they say 5 mile radius.
Yeah.
with most missing people, they give a 5-mile radius around their home. So you got that.
I don't know.
And I don't know if that's even true.
I have not read that. Has anybody done some study on that? I know that there are some people who study murderers and they do geographic, things like that. I hear the train.
Yep.
I hear the train. I don't know how scientific that is, would be my thing. But 5 miles, I looked where a house was, but there's probably quite a few people within 5 miles in a 5-mile radius.
I would think so.
5 miles is pretty far.
I was sitting here thinking 5 miles ain't, it's not that far, but it's pretty far. I've walked 5 miles. I haven't ran 5 miles, but I've walked 5 miles before.
Right. And here's what I know. They have not gone and questioned everybody who lives within a 5-mile radius. They did not do that.
I will agree with you there.
No way they did that.
Because I think that car that they suspect be in it, that white Kia, that was about March. They came out about that.
Yeah.
That was within the 5-mile radius. I do believe. I think it's like 2 to 3 miles within Nancy Guthrie's house. I'd have to go look.
Mm-hmm. I remember that. I continue to state, I think that this one here, Marsha, with Marsha Norman, I think it's very instructive. But I just don't think that Nancy's is as straightforward as this. I just don't think so. I just don't think so. So, well, that hour went fast, D.
Yeah, it did.
We get talking about trucking.
Get you talking about anything other than, or get either one of us talking about anything but true crime for once, which I'm not looking forward to this week.
We talked about your fire stuff last week.
Yeah. This week, though, I'm nervous, but I know it's got to be done, and one of us has to do it. So at least my channel will show respect to the Wells family.
Okay. All right, D.
All right. Catch you later.
Tonight. I'm glad I also got to talk about cooking steaks. I love talking about that too.
Well, yeah, it's probably one of the few things you don't get anymore, huh?
No, I don't do a lot of steak buying. You're right. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right, D. Good talking to you. I hope you're doing well. And for once, the train really did not bother us tonight.
No. We heard him, but he didn't blow while we were talking. So
yeah.
He's listening. He's waiting. Maybe he's being nice today. All right, Ed. Talk to you later.
See ya. Bye.
There he goes. Okay, y'all. That's Ed. Bye, Lisa. Bye, Connie. Catch y'all next time. I'll find something next time to cover. I promise. Later, y'all.